Okay, it's 7 o'clock. Call the Public Works and Public Utilities Committee meeting to order. Attendance, please. Attendance has been taken. Will you join me in the Pledge of Allegiance?
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, open up for comments from citizens. Seeing none, we will close comments from citizens and move on to the electric department. The activity packet is in, the activity report is in your packet. Jeff, anything you want to point out?
No, I mean, not really. I mean, we're gonna move a capacitor bank. We've had some problems with low voltage out around Country Club Estates and the Country Club. There's several ways to do it, but going with the cheapest first, we're gonna put a capacitor bank out there, and that helps the capacitance that you get from motors, like air conditioners and things like that. It should ramp it up, and hopefully it will take care of the problem. You can reconduct it, but you have to do it all the way from the vet clinic clear to Ann Street. And you're looking at, I'll say 100,000, where I'm looking at maybe 2,000 to get the right equipment put up.
It's definitely worth trying that out first.
Well, everybody I've talked to recommends that first. So that's basically what we've been working on, getting it ready for Sunday. It's gonna be a summertime thing. Right now, the voltage is not bad when it's cool out. But when it gets hot and all your air conditioners are running, that's when you start getting all the capacitance. Hopefully this will straighten that out.
Okay. Any questions on that?
We might want to add, Landon had asked about the street lights and how we're doing as far as getting those replaced, the bulbs. It's been a living nightmare. Jeff has talked to the supplier, I've talked to the main people from ESP, and we went through 3 rounds of getting light bulbs here to get the right ones. And we finally, I think, have them, for what they got the other day, so we got, we ended up with 32.
Well, 32 and that.
Right now, which he's probably had 20 go bad, that he's already done on his own, but this is, it'll give us some back to kind of, for the next round. These won't take the adapter that he had said was causing all the problem. You've seen the flickering like at your office and stuff, and this should take care of that.
Well, most of it's not a bulb failure, it's application failure on their part.
They just didn't get it screwed in properly?
Well, that insert that goes in to reduce it down to the right size mogul, if the wind blows, it starts
Shakes loose.
shakes loose and breaks the end off the bulbs. There's just numerous things
The
with it.
new size bulb won't take that reducer at all, so,
More
Are we
solid
paying for
connection.
this?
no.
Alright.
Well, we did the ones that he's already replaced, but they did send us replacement stuff, and they're aware that if we have any more, that we want them to come down, so.
Okay.
Good.
Generation and purchase, anything? No? Any distribution? No? Other, we've got a report on the streetlight usage comparison.
Pleased to report, actual usage is going down, which is good. So it looks like, just if you go on average, our total cost savings is about $8,454 a year.
And that's at the really low rate that
Unfortunately,
that's
that's not as great a percentage drop as what I think they were advertising.
I think you're right.
Is 2018-19, is that the, when they put that, install those, they did those in 2018?
18.
They did an 18, so part of that year still had the old style on it.
That's what I was thinking.
So it's the
That could be paid for
1920.
that.
Really
This is the real
1920
one.
is the real.
Yeah, so if
Yeah.
Compare the 1718 to
253,000.
the 1920.
51,000.
That's your decrease in usage. What about, let me ask that, and the other thing that goes with these bulb change outs and upgrades is not only your wattage goes down, but your life goes up. Are we having life problems, or is it just the socket, you think?
It's the socket.
It's not that we're concerned about the life of the bulb itself,
No.
but it's more the sockets, what causes it.
I would say 95% of it has been the socket.
Well, that's good to hear. That's good, that's
You
good.
know, there's been a couple of bulbs fail here and there, but nothing like what the socket is.
Considering how many were changed out, I would suspect that there would be a few failures.
Well, there's been a few, but I wouldn't say,
But I would
maybe-
guess that's a pretty small percentage.
yeah, maybe 4 of them, of the ones I've changed out are just a bulb.
But then that you get the savings of longer life bulbs as well, so.
Well, see, lots of times they can get bugs in there, and those things have where they bent, cool, and that's the problem, they're full of bugs.
Get plugged up so they can get overheated.
We take them to shop and blow them out, and they work fine,
Okay, gotcha.
you know, but they're still the smaller base light bulb, just like you would screw into your house, you know, so.
All right.
Okay. Moving on to Public Works.
Before we leave the electric,
Yes.
I still would like to see a light, out at the intersection of Lois and General Chance, street light. That intersection is not marked with a street light,
Okay.
and it's difficult to see at night.
You have a chance in what?
Chance and Lois.
I told him about the one out at the highway, and he said that is ours, and he'll get it taken
Oh,
care of.
okay.
I was gonna ask about it, somebody mentioned my wife or something back a while ago.
Yeah, that's all.
Okay, I didn't know, I told her, I don't know if that's ours or, county.
I didn't realize that was ours.
Lakeview is ours, Gano,
Okay.
and of course back up to the old
Right.
pad.
Okay. Moving on to Public Works now, the street department activity reports in the packet. Hoffman, anything you want to point out?
Oh, we're probably, the biggest thing, we're pretty busy with snow removal in February. We're hoping that is done though.
Sounds like wishful thinking.
I'd say after today, you're probably flooding everywhere.
I hope you're right.
It's near 30 Saturday.
Okay.
30's low and 40, I think, for the high.
You got any snow?
Anything else for streets? Sanitation?
This-
I do have one for streets on, I gave everybody a copy of the list on, Chris, Heather, and Phil and I went and looked at streets, and this is kind of what we've narrowed down for this upcoming year. And if everybody kind of look at those streets, you'll see why we picked these. This is our estimated price to go along with it. We're going off what we normally figure, and we're not sure how it's gonna come in. Mitchell Christensen is gonna come in sometime this week. He's not sure what day yet, but he's gonna come in. We'll take a look at all these, see what he suggests, maybe what extra costs might be in there that we need to kind of plan for. If there's gonna be milling, which we know there's a couple areas we definitely have to. And then we'll have Capital come down too. We met with him a couple of weeks ago, and he kind of suggested we do this beforehand, which we had done some, but I think we get everybody on the same page, and then we can go out for bid. They'll know exactly what we're wanting, and we'll know what we're asking for too, a little bit better as far as, milling's always kind of a guesstimate on what we think and what they end up telling us too, so.
Would Allen Street between the railroad tracks have to be milled?
Between the two tracks in front of the main office,
Probably just be a curb milling.
Okay.
It wouldn't be a whole street.
yeah, and there's not a lot of curb in there to replace it.
Right.
But we're gonna wait until they're done with their renovations before we do any of that, and that may not end up being this year.
Okay.
Which renovations are you referring to? The
Main
building
office,
itself?
yeah, the first floor. I don't think there'll be a lot of equipment needed for that, but in talking to Bruce, he said we might wanna wait just a little bit before we make that call on that one, so.
Yeah, the capital request is not approved yet. That's about all I know about it. So
Still in
that-
there.
That building won't be done for a year till the year after it's approved is the rough estimate I was given, so
Okay.
that would not be in the next 12 months at least.
Okay. Take a look at these, and I think everybody will see why we kind of picked these. Phil has started widening out there on Lakeview and Adams. That's to help, that's to help the entrance into the bicentennial and kind of in front of the rec center there, so.
I'd asked Heather when we started out, you know, as mayor, we started talking about the streets or something we talked about a lot. I think what we're doing a good job of, it, Heather and Mike and Phil working together on looking at the streets this year and being aggressive, so I think there's a lot of footage here, and I think it's gonna be done right, which is the important thing, right? And we're fixing the streets versus band-aiding them, and we're gonna get caught up in the next 2 or 3 years, which will be good. We're on a life cycle, I think, that we'll all feel good about, so.
Okay.
I do have one more thing too on that same subject. We met with Don Jenkins with Miko Engineering last week, and he's the one that has helped us with safe routes to school, sidewalk programs before, and some street projects as well. And so he's the one we're talking to about the grants with street overlays and improvements, as well as, they don't call it a safe routes to school grant anymore for the sidewalks, they call it, it's a transportation, alternative transportation grant or something. So, we're going to be documenting some things over the next, few months, especially in the summertime. We need to document, along Booth Street, that's one area that we thought, sidewalks would be needed. All the way from Jefferson to the pool, because you just have kids that all summer long are riding their bikes or walking or whatever right in the middle of the road. So those are things that we're going to document that'll help go into our grant applications, but that won't be until next budget year, but those are just projects that we're going to be working on throughout the year to get started on.
And I would recommend you drive out there and drive around that subdivision as aldermen and women, if you haven't, and see how bad those roads are out there in that subdivision off South Central. Because they're in terrible condition, and so, I mean, that's an area we're talking about, and then that's gonna incorporate Campbell Street potentially. And you're gonna get some, you know, people are gonna be worked up about that, but
All the way down.
you've inherited that street. And if we can do it in a grant, but that area needs to be done, and they said that would need to be included for us to probably qualify for the grant, just so you guys are up to speed of what that looks like, and you start to hear some of that feedback from people.
Now, the dad from Campbell Street,
That's what I'm saying, you're gonna hear some chatter back potentially from the community about that we're having to pay the street, but it's what it is, and
should we consider tax billing, those residents for the difference between a grant and what the, is, because it's gonna affect their property values, they're the ones that are gonna benefit, and they're the ones that were sold cheaper properties, because
well, yeah, they were sold cheaper properties, but were they sold a cheaper property and what were they promising? I don't know. You know what I'm saying? And so, I don't know, it's hard for me to interpret what was said and
but I
promised.
think that they should be responsible for at least some of that cost, and it can be tax billed to them. I mean, I'm not opposed to the idea of a grant on that, but I just don't think that they should get off scot-free on it.
I think let's work through the process, see what grants turn up, and when we see what that dollar figure is, we can have that conversation. Right now, it's pure speculation at this point. Let's not put the cart before the horse.
Well, I doubt that the grant's gonna cover 100% of it.
And I'm not saying it will, I just, once we know what that dollar figure is, we can have an informed conversation, is all I'm saying.
Yeah, I think we talk about it deeper, you know, then, I want to make sure everybody understood that that's gonna be part of it. You're gonna bring to hear something from the citizens, and I just wanted us to be able to understand what was going on with that. It's something to consider. I'm not saying it's not, so, I mean, we can consider that as we go down the road and get a little further, no pun intended, but get a little further along, right? If you wanna bring up the,
Yeah, on this, if the grants work out, we also possibly might be able to go all the way on Allen Street from Lakeview south, basically. That's bad, but we're kinda also using it to kinda wait, see what happens there at southwest corner, or southwest circle on Alco. Because if they have to go out in the street and do sewer taps, we don't want to pave the road and then have that happen right after, so.
That makes sense.
So that would be part of that included too. And this year's plan is to take it from Bruton all the way to Lakeview. And then hopefully we can get this and continue south.
Okay. Moving on to sanitation, anything?
We've had a request from Danes that they would like to go for recycling to clear plastic bags only, yeah.
Right now we allow clear or white. And now they're asking for just clear. He just made the request, he didn't say that we have to do that. And we've had a lot of issues with recycling, so that's why we wanted to bring that to the board.
Why is he wanting to go with just clear?
So that he can
See
see what's
what's
in
inside.
it, and because people are still putting the
Oh, okay.
things in it that they're not.
I could see that. I mean, it'd be a nightmare if you didn't know what was in there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was glass.
What is the, business trash schedule? When do they do that? What times?
Midnight,
I
midnight
think
or
we
one
need,
AM.
I think we need to redo that. A citizen called me at 12:45 and was woke up by a rattling dumpster.
I just know that they start early and they end
Well,
early.
they started at 12:15 at the Heritage Hall.
In the I guess, yeah.
I mean,
They're not on a set schedule,
No, they're not.
because, I mean, we're right there, we're like their next, and sometimes it's 6 o'clock in the morning on Monday morning, and sometimes it's midnight, and, so, I mean, it's not always at 12 o'clock.
I can see that if there was
But it
maybe a
is.
snowstorm or something coming in, that maybe they'd want to try to get ahead of it or something, but.
I can understand why people would object to it at 12:45 at night, or in
Yeah.
the morning.
I mean, there's a lot of people that live around the business place that have dumpsters.
Well, they intermingle. I mean, commercial's up to residential when people are sleeping.
Well, all your places downtown, all those apartments that are up above, I mean, when dumpsters are being dumped, they're gonna carry it. If it's 1 o'clock in the morning.
We'll look at our contract and see what it says.
Yeah, so this is, I mean, I can't find any fault of them asking for the clear bags either. I mean, it's another hurdle for people who wanna recycle.
I had, while we're on talking about sanitation and recycling, Mrs. Patton, Mary Patton contacted me and was frustrated that for the third time she went to do her recycling of her paper goods, cardboard and stuff, and she wasn't gonna lay it on the ground to blow around, and she said for me to get the thing dumped. That's kinda how she put it to me. But, we talked a little bit about maybe that they could empty it more often or something. We were talking a little bit about that, which may solve that problem a little bit. But I guess there's a lot of people that are recycling more than, maybe I knew that. But she said she's been there 3 times and it's always been full, and she can't put it in there, so.
What days are they picking up?
Tuesdays and Fridays. And it's been full since the weekend.
Maybe they need to consider 3 days a week.
Well, if they could do it on Monday, because the weekends when you're gonna get a lot of stuff, but people have time, I would think that over the weekend it would fill up quite a bit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Earlier in the week, I'm just saying, I don't know. Might be something to think about, because people are doing their,
I mean, there's piles on the ground every week, we're usually picking up some.
yeah. Yeah, so I'm just saying, maybe that eases that overflow, and people can still use it earlier in the week, because it's empty.
Yeah. And I don't know how much of that is actually coming from outside of town into it.
Well, there's a lot of people from outside town that bring stuff in.
There's no control on that.
Yeah, no.
Not much we can do there, so I can see if there's a.
But just-
do we know
just
what the
take
cost
note.
would be to go with her? Do we know what the cost would be? So we'll have to
Find out.
Find out. Okay, anything else on sanitation? Okay, third time's a charm. Okay, storm sewer, anything? Other? Okay, move on to water and sewer. Do you want to point out since Matt's not here?
Matt's actually working on a sewer right now. He just texts and they've got one blocked up, so they're jetting it out, trying to get it open. Number 4 well, we had to have the motor replaced on it. This thing's been rebuilt a couple times and it was time to get it done. It's basically blowing everything apart when it goes, and it really did a good job this time. So Flynn drilling come down, pulled it, put the new motor on, got her hooked up, and she's ready to go, so.
Okay. Anything we need to do to prove that at this point?
No,
Since
it was-
the dollar figure?
It
Just
was
to let
purchased
you
as
know.
an emergency.
Okay.
It'll be on our bill roll,
Yep.
$12.50, I'm sure.
Yeah.
You didn't buy that little fella.
I think it's 13,000.
Yeah, it's in there.
So anything for sewer?
Actually, we had meetings the other day, Matt and I did, with Gary Davis and Matt Vandertwig from Bartlett and West, and Tyler Rhodes, one of the new farmers, going on to try to work out some details on getting the right size pond for his farm. Trying to get all that worked out so we can get the right amount of storage to help our system as much as possible. And I think we're there on that. We're gonna have a meeting on the 18th with all the farmers to kind of go over, so everybody's in the know on what's happening, who's getting what to this point. The only thing that won't be answered is if there's money left, we have 2 alternative fields that we might look at. So, but we'll get together on the rest of it and go from there.
Have you heard back from the guy out of Kingdom City?
Yes. Well, he's gonna start, we had a guy come out, we're having a lot of trouble with algae blooms in the northeast lagoon primary cell. And they're gonna start hitting us on phosphorus buildup. That's the new thing with DNR. I mean, every year it's something, and because of that, we're gonna run into problems meeting standards. And we talked to him, he puts enzymes in, basically, or he puts microbacteria nutrients in there, it'll eat all the nutrients out. And he doesn't think there's that big of a problem for what he could do, and we could space it out for, we could do it in 30 days, we could do it in a 3-year process, just slowly work it out. It gives us more volume in our primary cell, more detention time, and we'll meet all standards. We'll even meet E. coli if we had to, because it'll take care of that. But, which is, would have been nice if we could have done something with overflow with that.
We still haven't been discharging though, have we, other than through the overflow system?
Overflow is the only way we've been doing it right now.
Okay.
So-
But still, we have to meet the standards even coming off of that.
Yes, yes.
So when the new stuff goes in and we remove that, we will.
Overflow's gone, we're putting a reservoir there, so it'll be storage. But by having the extra detention time, that's just more room for us in our primary, and we're gonna meet ammonia easily. And you stop and think that the primary cell is almost 20 acres in size, and I know there's at least 1.5 to 2 foot of sludge in it. Well, that's a lot of sludge. He said if he wanted 2 foot a days, that'd all be gone. Now, that's gonna cost a lot when he feeds all those bugs in there to actually eat it up, but we're looking into it. He's gonna come next week and sludge judge it, see where we're at, re-grid it. It's been 8 years since we did the last go-around. So, see how much has come up from there, because I found the papers when we had done it, so.
Well, that's gotta be a lot less though than pumping sludge out of there.
Oh, yeah. We did just that front section. If you remember when we had the aerators in the front cell, there maybe 1/8 of that lagoon. And we had to stop them at $200-some thousand, and we didn't get near all of it.
Wow.
So,
Okay.
so that's in the works too. We're looking to see, he said if he needs to, he'll come and talk to y'all, explain everything in fine detail. But we'll see what he comes up with.
Any other for water and sewer?
I think that's it right now.
Moving to other. Mike, anything in your report you want to point out?
No, I think mine's all tied pretty much to theirs, so I think we're pretty well good.
And then, B's, the amending section 26-112 regarding delinquent notices.
This is, changing our current delinquent notice procedure. We would go to billing one time a month instead of sending out the delinquent notices. It's gonna be a full page bill, and then this wording would go on the back.
Does this tie with our conversation from a couple months ago that we talked about?
Yes, it does. But we are getting ready to start we're ready to switch over. So, as of, I think, April 1.
Okay. Is this for information only tonight?
Tonight, yes, and then it'll be on the agenda for Monday, next Monday.
Any questions on it? Any as may arise?
Make a motion, we adjourn.
Second.
Got a motion and a second to adjourn, all in favor?
Aye.
We are adjourned.